tlhompho. Ba tsena re ba bethele matsogo a re emeng re ba feng tlhompho. Ke bao ministera wa rena, ke bao MEC ya rena Jepedi. A re ba emishe matsogo a re emeng re ba feng matsogo. Ba tsena ba eta pele ba rena re ba feng tsela, matsogo. Ministera wa rena ba tsena, MEC ja rena ba tsena, ba tlhomphegi ba rena ba bagolo. Enkomu a re ba bethele matsogo re ba amogeleng.
Thank you very much. Re khopela, can we take our seats? Let's take our seats. All right, we want to warm welcome our Minister of Basic Education for honoring us as a province. This is Limpopo, the People's Garden of Eden in South Africa, where you find all the best. You get the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we focus on the best. The best in everything, you find it in Limpopo. We want to welcome you, Minister. We are so excited that you are with us. My sister, the MEC, Mepoli Bushielo, we've been together throughout. They are requesting me to for those who want to read my lips, we must respect that. We want to also appreciate the work that has been done by both Department of Basic Education and the Department of Health. This, what you see today, it's a result of proper planning. I am going to request Bostati just to open with a short prayer.
Thank you, MEC. Artswalele matho. Logodimo le lefase ke tša gago. Re re motho ke eng ka fase ya mordia le jatše o nkile wa mokgaiša manaba le bantlhoi wa motlhaitšhanyane a sebe modimo. Jwale wena more wa motho re o bitša tsena gare o kgopolo tša barwa le barwedi se re setetše mo sete se kgone go kgonega ineng le lekgolo la Kriste. Amen.
Our executive mayor has apologized, but we have, on behalf of the executive mayor, Councillor Kanyago, to come and welcome us.
Thank you, Program Director. Our Minister of Basic Education, Honorable Chupu Mathabatha, the Premier of Limpopo, Honorable Chupu Mathabatha in absentia, the MEC of Education, Honorable Poli Bushielo, MEC of Health, Honorable Popira Matoba, the Capricorn District Executive Mayor, Councillor John B. in absentia, representatives from government and other stakeholders. Members of the media, good morning to you. Program Director, COVID-19 is not only disrupting every aspect of our lives, but also testing our patience as it slows down everything from our healthcare system, emergency services, economy, and everything that keeps our existence and survival. It has changed our psychosocial makeup. It has replaced our normal with the new normal from homes, schools, and industries. However, the COVID pandemic must never be allowed to dictate the development future path of this country as is invested in the youth. But rather we find the silver lining on opportunities presented by this pandemic to better equip and prepare the economy and the future ahead of us. Amidst all, educators and school leaders are dealing with their own anxieties and fears as the virus continues to spread. However, thanks to the Department of Basic Education and Health, that this morning we gather here, the fears would be put out. We appreciate that educators have been prioritized to be among the first to be vaccinated as the front line, and they have been bearing the brand in the front of our children's education. They continue to be in the forefront of empowering our children to become independent thinkers who will take this opportunity forward rather than backwards. Program directors, we must commend the Limpopo provincial government for its implementation of the vaccination program. According to an article published by Business Insider South Africa, Limpopo is leading South Africa's COVID-19 vaccine rollout, with more than 66% of its senior citizens registered for their jabs and 6.37% of the province's adult population having already received at least one dose. The article stresses that Limpopo is South Africa's second poorest province, with more than 80% of population living in under-resourced rural areas. Despite this, the province has managed to register 66% of residents over the age of 60 for their COVID-19 vaccinations. It's also already vaccinated 6.37% of the adult population, outpacing the national average. This says that by working together, we can overcome this pandemic. We must trumpet the call by the government that although vaccination is voluntary, it remains highly recommended for everyone to be vaccinated so that we can all be protected from this virus. It therefore remains critical for all stakeholders to work together on this fight against COVID-19 in all our spaces. Program Director, I take this opportunity to welcome all the city of Polokwane as we push forward in the fight against pandemic. You are all welcome, and I thank you.
It's the city of stars. You know, when they welcome, they really do welcome us. Let's appreciate them with a round of applause while they are sorting out. I was sharing with the Minister of Basic Education earlier on, and the leadership of the trade union and the MEC, that educators learn from us as a health. I think this message, we see that it's not well captured. During the second wave, I will talk about the second wave in this province, because, Minister, that's when we really felt the impact of COVID-19. I can tell you, these particular hospitals where we're in, there was a day wherein we could not even serve patients breakfast because 8 of our kitchen staff were infected and they were sick. There were days wherein we did not have professional nurses to nurse those who are sick because those nurses were infected. There are certain hospitals in this province, district hospital, which operate on a normal day with 15 or 16 doctors, having 8 doctors on a day testing positive and not being able to come and work. We are in the middle of a third wave. We've seen what it's doing. But truth be told, I am not struggling by our nurses, our doctors, our cleaners. Those who have been vaccinated, we have not heard the cry of them being admitted in ICU and not having anyone to nurse you. So vaccine some people were saying we are giving teachers Johnson & Johnson, the efficacy percentage compared to the Pfizer. I got the very same Johnson & Johnson. That same health workers I'm talking about receive the Johnson & Johnson. They are here at work, led by Dr. Domb. She has never been infected by this virus. She got the very same Johnson & Johnson we're giving you. So let's be honest, as the media, we talk outside, spread this message that vaccination does help. Yes, there's no vaccine that will stop you from getting infected, but all our vaccines will help you not to get sick. They will help you not to get hospitalized. On that note, I'm requesting the MEC, my colleague, my sister, Mepo Libushielo, today she's a doctor, Mepo Libushielo, she is going to give us a purpose, a short, and also present to you our Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Mepo Libushielo. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director, my colleague, MEC for Health, Dr. Popira Matuba. You know the energy that is there, and when you combine with the all-star one, we really make things very move. So I'm pleased that things are moving well. For sure you have seen. I'm just informed that Seshiro Hospital, they've already done 105. By 11 o'clock, 520 will be done. And you can see here, we are moving. I've been here since 8 o'clock. I think by 11, we would have done the 520. So by tomorrow, we'll finish all the dosage, 38,400 out of them. And then we'll wait for the next batch. So we knew what we were doing. We planned our things very well. People had their doubt, but we know that we had ground forces who are able to do that. I'm a little bit scared myself because I'm getting my vaccine also to show that it's not scambelele or gripe water, but it's the real thing. But also if it kills, it will also kill me. Like MEC Ramatuba is saying, the minister have also got a vaccine. So for sure you have seen that video that goes around that said what teachers will be doing when they get the injection. So we're very excited. We really want to go back to our schools, and our learners really need us. Let me take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome our one and only Minister of Basic Education, who's always with us, whether it's tough or not. This woman, I can't stop talking about her, because when COVID came last year, when we had to close schools, on the 18th of March. Some of you, especially you journalists, were insulting her and everything. But also we were also scared and say, Minister, no, we don't think we can go. And he said, no, we are going, you know. And if it was not her bravery, we would have lost the curriculum and the schooling year. But she led from the front, and we were able to even move as Limpopo from number 9 to number 7 because of her leadership. Minister, please address us.
No, thank you very much, MEC. Let me also thank the Premier in absentia, thank the Department of Health nationally for the support that they've been giving us, thank the province also for the support. I can see there are all these mics. It's definitely not about me today, so it's about the very teachers themselves. And I have to say, MEC from Health, we remain extremely grateful as a Department of Education for the support and the efficiency through which you have organized this vaccination for us as the education sector. I've visited sites from Wednesday, and I have no doubt that Health has really gone out of its way to make this program work very well. But also say our teachers, because these are the people I want to talk to say thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. I had my own vaccination. I was looking forward to it. Was very excited that I'm above 60, so I fell in the prioritized group. But deep down, I felt that, wish that we could have more for our educators. And not because we're better than anybody. That's not the reason why we had asked teachers to be vaccinated first. But as educators, we are responsible for one of the most important assets in families, which is their children. When parents were doubtful whether we should open schools, I always appreciated it that they're not hesitant because they don't want their kids not to be educated, but they're very hesitant about the safety and the well-being of their children. And that's what caused lots of tensions, hesitancy. Even when we're saying, please allow your children to come back to school, it's not that we're also very negligent. We're not aware of the anxiety that COVID had caused on families. We appreciated that parents really didn't want to risk the lives of their children. They'd rather have their children rather than really have education. They'll see what they do later. So we did appreciate that. And I must say, I really appreciated teachers also, because it's not as if ourselves were not anxious about our own health. But teachers braved it, went out to go and support learners, because we say, MEC of Health, we're not only around about teaching and learning, we're about the holistic development of children. We look after them during the day when their parents are at work. We give them emotional support when there are difficulties. We feed them in some instances and then educate them and play with them. So a school is more than learning and teaching, and that's why we thought it was extremely important to keep our doors open. MEC for Health, I think, has given us a very good story about health. We are told that the vaccine is not prevention, but we are also told that it is important for everyone to get vaccinated for protection. And MEC, I can say, MEC Education knows that in the second wave, I was part of the second wave. I stayed in hospital for 14 days. And upon my release, I had to hire an oxygen cylinder, which I used for another 15 days. So almost a month I was immobilized, let alone after a month, I had to go through some rehabilitation because it really hit me very hard. It took me almost, I thought, I'm never sick. I thought 14 days. I said to my doctor, release me, 14 days, I'll be fine. And the doctor told me that, no, in your state, it's going to take you a month. And it really took me a month to go back to where I should be. So it's not a light disease. Don't take it light. Some people it has taken not only teachers, which is very sad. It has taken an MEC for Education in Northern Cape. It has taken the head of department in Eastern Cape. It has taken the president of NATO in KZN. And sadly enough, it's taken a lot of teachers and our employees. We lost lots of administrative support staff in our schools. And I'm not saying this because I'm an educator myself. It takes time to make us teachers, is that not so? What we learn at universities is facts, but to become a teacher through practice in the classroom and really become a teacher. And to lose a teacher is to lose a huge asset in society. It's to lose a lot. Just one teacher means a lot to so many kids. A day, we sometimes interact with more than 100 children. So to lose a teacher is to really lose something big for that community, for those children, but for society. But important for us to vaccinate is to make schools even safer places. We want our schools to be really safe places. That's why we insisted with health to say, we don't want to only be vaccinated as educators, but people who work with us must also get that vibe. So people who work in the yards, people who work in our offices, people who work as food handlers should come so that schools become the safest of places that parents can feel safe to send their kids to, because as adults, we are the super spreaders. It's sad now that young people are also getting infected, which is quite sad because in the beginning they used to be infected in smaller numbers. But our older, I think teenagers are getting tired of masks and they are creating a new problem in the sector. But colleagues, I don't want to take time. I really want to thank you most sincerely, deeply, for availing yourselves. They are all stories. I've had my vaccine. You don't even feel the needle. I had to ask the sister, are you done? And then the sister said, I'm done. Because they use a very thin needle, MEC. Don't worry, that screaming man, it can't be this needle that we're going to get. He's screaming because I think they're using a spear for him, but these ones, the needle is comfortable. They said there are side effects. At my age, I never felt anything. I was looking for them. Actually, they said I must buy Panadols in case I have a headache. I still have them in my bag. I didn't even use them. There was no headache. Maybe some will have. I didn't feel any pain. They said your hand will be painful. At night, I kept on turning to remember which hand, by the way. Is it the left or right that is meant to be painful? I remember, oh, it's the left hand. And touched it. There was nothing. So I really want to encourage teachers. There are people who've got religious reasons. Hey, let's encourage our colleagues again. It's not that we're not Christians or any. We have faiths ourselves, but we also believe in science. We believe in science. One of my neighbors was saying, the child said, hey, don't vaccinate. There are 6 people who had problems in America. I said, 6 people were affected. 60 million had been vaccinated at that stage. I said, no, tell me about 6 out of 60 million. I said, I'm going to be part of the 60 million. That is safe. So I'm not going to be part of the 6 million. And here I'm standing, colleagues. Thank you very much. Please encourage your colleagues to come. Please, 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 please. There shouldn't be one of us who are not vaccinated, because that one could even end up being a problem to us. But I don't want to seem to be pressurizing people to vaccinate. And I'm glad that unions are here. Please speak to your members. Oh. This time, your members must come, must be vaccinated. You don't know how many other sectors want this privilege. And I really want to thank the president. He's been extremely supportive. When we said, President, when it comes to the next term, we want to have as many of our primary school kids back at school. It's not working, and it's not going to work. I don't know in other languages. They say if you want your tree to stand like this, you should not allow it to bend when it's still early. So we can't allow our trees, which is our children, to bend early. So we have to make sure that, in particular, your primary school kids must come to school. Government is promising us that they might give us your teacher support programs. Actually, what we want to do this time is to use them differently, so that even if we don't have enough space, on the days the kids were not going to learn, Limpopo is very nice. There are trees, we can play with them. Because schools are more than teaching and learning areas. We can go and do reading lessons. We can go and do anything with them, but they must come to school. They must not only come to school because they have to get school nutrition, but they also have to get a little bit of education. So we'll be updating people, with MECs, about how the reopening of primary schools is going to happen. But because I see teachers, MEC, health, if you don't remove me, I won't leave. Because I am very excited to see so many of you here and want to express my gratitude, my appreciation, and really, I'm very happy. And I'm very confident that Limpopo has been leading nationally. I must tell your province, MEC may not know. I sit in the National Corona Command team. Limpopo, every time we hear good reports about how Limpopo is leading on vaccination, how Limpopo is doing it right, how Limpopo. So it's in Limpopo all the way. So I am confident, MEC, that Limpopo. When we say 10 days for vaccination, we will do it in 10 days. Yes. We must do it in 10 days. When we close schools, we must be vaccinated. When we go on for our holidays, when we come back, I didn't tell you this one. I never shared with people because I vaccinated, but continued with my vitamins, Dr. Tombo. I feel much more healthy, I promise you, than I was before the coronavirus, because I think of the medication, the vitamins that we had to live on. I feel much more stronger, much more healthier than I was. So I can tell you, we're part of the 60 million, not the 6, not even 600, the 6 that got clots. We're not part of that 6, we're part of the 60 million that had been vaccinated and nothing happened to them. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Let's give her another round of applause. We really appreciate those words from a Minister of Basic Education. One of the issues that I need to raise, we are concluding this session, is the fact that for my entire life, from grade 0 to 12, we used to call it Form 5, I have been listening to teachers. And today I felt honored that teachers had to listen to me. and the teachers, because I listened to the teachers, I was able to succeed in my education. And I want to believe that today, because teachers were able to listen to me, they are going to succeed in their vaccination. So the key here is about listening to each other. We really appreciate that our minister being the first teacher in the country. We are going now to start by vaccinating the #1 teacher in the province. I'm ready for her. And then she will be followed by the leaders of the trade unions. I am equally ready for them. It is that time for payback. We must remember those slogans. As I'm vaccinating leadership of SATRU, I will be vaccinating you. Thinking about those slogans today. You are in safe hands. But otherwise, Minister, just to say I've received all the messages. All our 37 vaccination sites in the province have started vaccinating. Things are running smoothly. Where there were glitches of misunderstanding, whether you must register or not, those glitches have been attended to. If there are any teachers that have not registered because they don't know, contact your circuit manager. Once they facilitate your registration, because we can't register you on site. Once they facilitate your registration, the vaccine, you will get it. Right now, we are saying to you, Minister, speak with your counterparts in health, give us the vaccines. If they do, my counterpart has given me education, our educators. Ours is to vaccinate, and be rest assured, all we need is educators and the vaccine. We will vaccinate. And lastly, on the side effects, the clotting. How many of us here, especially those women who are still in childbearing age, are on oral contraceptives? Many of us. And let me tell you, from my other life as a clinician, oral contraceptives on their own, they also cause this clotting. But we never stop using them. So why should we stop because there's a vaccine? You are expecting, even measles, when you vaccinate children, they develop fever. So the side effect is there even on Panado. There's no medication that doesn't have side effects. All medication have got side effects. But this country, led by President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa and his cabinet of Minister Angie Motshekga, they are so obsessed when it comes to 3 things on vaccination. The safety, that vaccine must be safe. Otherwise, we would have vaccinated all of you even with Johnson and did not break for 3 weeks. We break because they are obsessed on the safety. They are also obsessed in the efficacy. Otherwise, AstraZeneca will be on your deltoid muscle, but we stopped it before it entered your deltoid muscles. At the end of the day, what we do in health is to preserve your life and save your lives. I'm going to humble request that we remain standing as the minister will be taken through so that she goes up together with the MEC and my moment arrives. That moment is about to arrive. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, MEC. That was great.
You are requested to sit down for a while until they come out. requested to sit down for a while until they are done in the rooms.